We hear, "Hail to the chief for him for the very last time, and my country 'tis of thee." You know, those words so appropriate for the man who, following the attack on Pearl Harbor in 1941, decided at the age of 18 to postpone college and enlist in the U.S. Navy on his 18th birthday. He eventually became, after training, the youngest aviator in the U.S. Navy. Unbelievable grace and courage and bravery. And as we watch his family members walk now toward the vehicles which will take them to the Capitol, we do have Jeanie Wyatt of South Texas Money Management, who was an acquaintance of the Bushes. You can't not be if you grow up in Texas. And Jeanie, as we watch these pictures, what strikes you?
Such a great, great man and First Lady, and highly ethical family. We are just so fortunate to have had their influence in the state of Texas, and his great, great dear friend James Baker as well.
Oh, I'm sure. And knowing that these giants, certainly of the U.S. government in the past, especially Bush 41, what is your best sort of Texas memory of him and Barbara Bush, his lovely wife?
Well, just being so natural, and very, very influential. You know, under President Bush's watch, NAFTA was formed, and he passed and signed the NAFTA trade agreement, the North American trade agreement, which was hugely influential on not only North American trade, but global trade.
Isn't it ironic that one day after President Trump and Prime Minister Justin Trudeau of Canada and President Peña Nieto of Mexico signed the U.S.-Mexico-Canada deal, that President Bush 41 passes? The timing is uncanny, certainly. Uncanny. Edward is standing by at the Capitol, where the hearse will arrive with the casket. And Edward, people, you said, had already begun to amass there, correct?
Yeah, there's a lot of activity around the Capitol now. The Honor Guard has come in. They're just off camera over here getting ready for their part in this. The front doors of the U.S. Capitol have been opened now. There's a lot of activity in this area, getting ready for what's about to happen at 4:45 p.m. The casket will arrive here at Bush 41. He will meet the Supreme Court justices. The United States will be here, along with Vice President and his wife. Also, the pallbearers who will take him in, the honored pallbearers led by former Vice President Dan Quayle, will take the former President Bush 41 into the U.S. Capitol, where they have a ceremony at 5 p.m. Now, during that, this is all Eastern time. During that ceremony, the leaders of the House and Senate will lay wreaths with the minority leaders also of the House and Senate and pay their respects. And then at 7:30 Eastern time, the doors will be open to the public to come in and pay their respects. And again, yes, there are people who have started to line up, getting ready. They're looking for this motorcade along the streets, and then they will come in at 7:30 or after 7:30 and pay their respects to Bush 41. Liz?
The naval members who are there and all the military members, as they salute, have got to be thinking, Jeanie, how he was a true leader. To think that he enlisted at age 18. And then as he became president many, many years later, one of the things that he always talked about was that just because you disagreed with your opponents didn't make them your enemies. Specifically, a tone in politics that we do not see today.
Unfortunately, that's correct. Yes, compromise. We need compromise among our leaders.
And what do you think is the most important thing that we can all learn from President Bush?
To reach across the aisle, because we have great leaders on both sides, and we need compromise because there's so much important, critical legislation that has to happen now, not just to protect our economy and our financial markets, and there needs to be compromise.
Our financial markets doing very well today. We do have the Dow up 288 points. Of course, the markets will be closed, but how do you see the markets going forward into the new year?
I think the markets will be choppy going into the new year. Corporate earnings, I think, as we get corporate earnings in January. I anticipate they will be very, very strong.
Okay.
So the markets always react positively to that, but there will be a lot of cross currents, a lot of news, political, a lot of political news, and
something to watch.
Yeah, something to watch. And I think, of course, everyone is watching the Fed. I think the Fed will stay on their tightening track.